Welcome student, welcome to our YouTube channel Chemistry Table. As I told already in previous videos, if you want to secure your full marks in your ICSE board, and if you know how to write down the model answer, perfect answer and the best answer in your board examination, subscribe this YouTube channel, because as an ICSE school teacher, whenever we receive some direction by the boards, what is the model question, not the sample question that are available, no, some instruction, what was the question type or what will be the question type, what is the perfect answer. Whenever we receive anything, then I will share this with you. So subscribe this YouTube channel to know everything about the ICSE. So now today I will going to discuss most conceptual part of this chapter, Now before starting, can you tell me, in part 8 videos I already discussed the definition of bases. Look at the board. Whenever I discuss the concept of bases, I used 3 key terms. Can you tell me what are the key terms? First, metallic oxide. Metallic oxide means O2 minus, that is, it is oxide, or metallic hydroxide. Hydroxide means OH minus. Obviously metal is there, but it is the formula of oxide, it is the formula of hydroxide. And another term is there, is ammonium hydroxide. Okay, but see, we have today 2 terms mainly, basic oxides, or another term is basic hydroxide. Look at the board. What is the basic oxide? Basic oxide is the metallic oxide. What is basic hydroxide? Basic hydroxide is metallic hydroxide. That's why I was discussed these 3 key terms in the previous videos. So watch the videos part by part. So what is the definition of the basic oxide? First see. So basic oxide is a what? Metallic oxide, that is O2 minus, which when reacts with hydronium ions produce, tell me, try to give the answer. Basic oxide, already I told, basic oxide means metallic oxide, so which when reacts with hydronium ion. Already all of you know hydronium ion means what? H3O plus, and hydronium ion means acid. So when any base, basic oxide means base, when any base reacts with acid, that is hydronium ion, it will produce what? When any base reacts with acid, always produce salt and water. But one word is missing here. Can you tell me? Yes, in part 8 I already discussed salt and water only. Why only? Look at the board. Why generally we use this term only? Suppose we choose lead oxide as a base, or see, what is basic oxide? It is a metallic oxide. See, metal is there, oxide is there. Suppose it is a basic oxide. Why? Because basic oxide is a metallic oxide. Metal is there, oxide is there, metallic oxide, which when reacts with any acid, that is hydronium ion acid, will produce what? Salt and water. See, water, H2O and PbCl2. But in this reaction, along with chlorine gas will form. But what is the definition? Produce salt and water only. But here salt and water extra chlorine will produce. So that's why it is not considered as a base or as a basic oxide. Do you understand? So this word only is very, very important. Only these two will form. If extra anything will form, it is not considered as a basic oxide. Done? Okay. So from this, can you tell me the definition of basic hydroxide? So basic, same, right? Basic hydroxide is a what? Metallic hydroxide within bracket OH minus, which when reacts with same hydronium ion produce salt and water only. Okay, do you understand? Same to same. Now if I'll try to give an example, so metallic hydroxide, so next heading is basic hydroxide. So definition is, it is a what? Metallic, I think already all of you written metallic otherwise pause the video and try to write down. Okay, it is a metallic hydroxide which when reacts with hydronium ion produce salt and water. Tell me, this definition is correct? No, salt and water only. Do you understand? So this is the main term of this definition only. If I'll give example, see, in previous case we take lead oxide as a definition, but here we cannot tell. Why? Because here metallic hydroxide, in previous case metallic oxide, so it is oxide. Hydroxide means suppose NaOH, see, hydroxide means OH. So take which when reacts with hydronium ion means acid, HCl, produce what? Salt and water. So water means this water, H2O, and which one is left? Here Na and Cl. So see, here only salt and water. So it is considered as a base. If another new thing will form, it is not considered as a base. Do you understand? So this is very, very important topic. Now our next topic. Okay, now our next topic is alkali. Another important concept for your board. Okay, first give focus to clear your concept. Suppose I'll give you a dust of NaOH, dust. Okay, all of you know NaOH is base. Whenever you whenever you dissolve this dust into water, suppose in a conical flask you take some water and dissolve this dust. Dust means base. So whenever any base dissolve in water, then it is called alkali. So in simple word we can tell soluble base is called alkali. Listen, if you just give this base into water and if it is not soluble, it is not called alkali. Must be soluble, then it is called alkali. So again one more time, whenever you have one base, you try to put this base into water and this base must be soluble in it. So soluble base is known as alkali. Do you understand? So soluble, this is the primary definition. Obviously it is primary definition. So clear your concept, that is soluble. Now my question, if it is not soluble, for example, whenever you give, it is also a base, copper oxide, magnesium hydroxide, these both two are base, but whenever you give these both base, all are base, mind it, this is also base, this is also base, Whenever you give this base, it is soluble. Whenever you give this base, it is insoluble. Both are base, but it is not called alkali. So it is not alkali. Alkali, no, it is not alkali. It is alkali. So do you understand? Both are base. Which is soluble is called alkali. Which is not soluble, that is insoluble, is called not alkali. So my question is, all are base. So give focus. All alkalis are base, but all bases are not alkali. So my question is, all alkali are base, but all bases are not alkali. Okay, so can you give the answer of that question? Give focus. All alkali are base. So see, which one is called alkali? Whenever you give some base into water, if it is soluble, then it is called alkali. So alkali comes from the base. So all alkali must be base. But all bases are not alkali. Obviously, the base which is insoluble, see, are not alkali. Do you understand? So what is the answer? If you write down this type of example, this type of representation, if you will get definitely the full marks. So what is the answer of that question? Right. Okay. So write down the answer of that question. You can also note down this diagram, previous diagram that I rubbed. You can write down this. So what is the answer of that question? All alkalis are bases, but all bases are not alkali. Your answer starts from here. Soluble base is not known as alkali. Full stop. When any base dissolve in any aqueous medium, it is called alkali. Full stop. Next para. But the base like CuO, MgOH whole twice, which are insoluble in aqueous medium, are not called alkali. Full stop. Full stop. Then that is why all alkali are base, but all bases are not alkali. You have not to memorize these all lines. Just memorize the previous diagram that I rubbed, previous diagram in a conical flux. Memorize this diagram and write down or make your own answer. Any base, if dissolve, is called alkali. If it is insoluble, it is not called alkali. So based on this previous diagram, make your own answer. Don't memorize anything. Okay, so I rub it. Okay, now the proper definition of alkali. Question is, define alkali. So what is your answer? Already I told, alkali is a basic hydroxide. Basic hydroxide. See, alkali is a basic hydroxide. You can write within bracket OH minus also, because hydroxide means OH minus. Basic hydroxide which, when dissolved in any aqueous medium, then it, tell me, it's soluble or insoluble? Must be soluble because alkali. Then it soluble and produce what? Alkali is a basic hydroxide, so produce OH minus ion. For example, already given example, again see, suppose I have NaOH, it is base, it is not alkali. When it will become alkali? When we dissolve it in water. Dissolve, and all of you know, whenever it will dissolve in water, it will cleavaged or ionized, produce OH minus. Do you understand? So base is called alkali when it is dissolved in water. See, when it dissolve in water or any aqueous medium, then soluble and produce OH minus. Okay, this is the answer. Instead of this produce, you can write ionized and produce OH minus ion. You can include this word ionized here also. Ionized and produce OH minus ion. Okay, so this is the concept of base. When dissolved in water, it will produce OH minus ion. Done? Okay, now we have a problem. What? Tell me, that's why I rub. What is the first line to define alkali? First line is alkali is a hydroxide, that is OH minus, no, basic hydroxide. Now look at the board. Whenever I define the term bases, in the definition of bases we have three keywords: metallic oxide, metallic hydroxide. Okay, okay. Now in base, metallic oxide, metallic hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide is there, but I don't consider it. Now tell me, what is alkali? Alkali is when we have any base, when we soluble it in any aqueous medium, that will form alkali. Mind it, soluble. If base is insoluble, then it is not called alkali. But the problem is that all the metallic oxide and metallic hydroxide, metallic oxide like CuO, already example given, MgOH whole twice, AlOH whole thrice, all are insoluble. So we have a problem. Again, base if soluble, then it is called alkali. So in the definition of base, we already have metallic oxide word, metallic hydroxide word. But the problem is that most of the metallic oxide and hydroxide is insoluble. But few hydroxides are there. Few hydroxides are there. Answer is sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, or ammonium hydroxide, NH₄OH. You can write down the name of these three: sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide. These four are generally soluble. Among these, all metallic oxide and hydroxide. So most of these metallic oxide and hydroxide are insoluble. That is why most of the metallic oxide and hydroxide are not called alkali. Only few we have. Do you understand? Now again we have two parts among this example. Two parts among this example. What are the two parts? I will discuss. Wait. Among these four, all are alkalis because all are soluble among these metallic oxide. But soluble, it's okay. But can you tell me if they will soluble produce which ion? OH minus ion, no? I told already. See, whenever OH dissolve in water, you can write also plus and write water, or on the arrow you can write water. Whenever this is a base, it will produce Na plus OH minus C, OH minus produce, so it is alkali, KOH. When dissolved in water, it also produce K plus OH minus. No problem is here. But in case of calcium hydroxide, see, when it will dissolve in water, here K plus OH minus, here Na plus OH minus, here Ca2 plus 2OH minus. So it will also produce OH minus. So this is also alkali, no problem. Obviously there is a problem. Wait, NH₄OH. If it is dissolved in water, it will also form NH4 plus and OH minus. So my concern is that, again clear your concept, most of the metallic oxide and metallic hydroxide are insoluble, and insoluble means they are not alkali. But few examples we have, these four are soluble. So these four are soluble means, okay, its another name is slaked lime. Calcium hydroxide is called slaked lime, you can write, and it is called caustic soda, caustic potash, or sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, or slaked lime, and it is obviously called ammonium hydroxide. So only these four are soluble, so these four are alkali, no problem. But the problem is that whenever it will dissociate, that is cleavage, dissociate is the scientific word, cleavage, in the case of last two, it will break Ca2 plus and OH minus form, but again they will combine and come back, see, so become reversible. In that case also, cleavage, that is ionized and again come back. But in the first cases, they will not come back, only cleavage. So if we use the single arrow or only cleavage, it will call strong base. Why? Because only dissociate, more or less 100% dissociate, 100% dissociate. See, only one arrow, cleavage, but in that case they cleavage or ionized and combine these two and come back. See, first any base cleavage and form these two part, but again they combine and come back to this side, combine and come back to this side. So that is why they are called weak base. So you can write here, it is 100% dissociate, it is partially dissociate. You can write it is partially dissociate. So do you have idea about what is alkali, what is soluble base, what is insoluble base? We have already a question, all alkalis are base, but all bases are not alkali. So many examples are there, which one is the strong base and which one was the weak base, I already discussed. So prepare this concept and obviously prepare the previous part. Why? In this previous part already I discussed, no, monobasic acid, dibasic acid, that is basicity I already discussed. Yes, in the next part, that is in part 10, I will come with again the same concept of basicity, same more or less same type of concept. In the case of acid, I discussed basicity of an acid, no, monobasic acid, dibasic acid, tribasic acid. Same concept we have here in case of base. Same concept means, see, acid, monobasic acid, basic acid, but in base, monoacidic base, diacidic base. So in base we use the term acidic. In acid we use monobasic acid, basic acid. See, word basic we use in case of acid, but in case of base we use monoacidic base. So in case of base we use the acid. So if you understand this concept, you can definitely understand in this concept. So already prepare, already I uploaded this concept about the basic. So prepare the previous video. In next part I will come with that basis acidity concept of the base and so many method how to prepare the base. Okay, so prepare own note and do study, make your self note obviously, and prepare all these videos. Next day I will come with the new concepts. Thank you.